He had the swing, the grace, the power. When he wanted to be, he was as good as it gets. Davey Johnson, his Mets manager for 7 seasons, said that Darryl Strawberry was comfortable just getting to 30 home runs and 30 steals per season to secure a large payday, even if he could have accomplished so much more. It's October 25th, 1986. The New York Mets are playing in Game 6 of the World Series against the Boston Red Sox. Boston is up 3-2 and lead Game 6 by 2 runs in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Mets are down to their final out. It seems almost impossible, but then the Mets rally to score 3 runs in the bottom of the 10th with the help of a Bill Buckner error on a slow grounder to first that could have ended the inning, and they miraculously win Game 6. 2 nights later, the Mets win again in Game 7. This time it's a more comfortable margin with Darryl Strawberry clobbering an 8th inning home run to secure the New York Mets their 2nd ever World Series title. Strawberry is on top of the world, as high as he could get. Or so we thought. During a 17-year career that spanned in the 1980s and 90s, Darryl Strawberry achieved many accolades. He won the 1983 NL Rookie of the Year award, made 8 straight All-Star games from 1984 to 1991, ranked top 10 in MVP voting 4 different seasons, and also won 3 World Series rings, all for New York teams. But for all of his success on the field, he will forever be known as a tragic figure. Mental health struggles, substance abuse, and having an addiction to doing the dirty throughout his life will always leave some fans wondering what could have been. Darryl Strawberry was born on March 12, 1962 in Los Angeles, California to parents Henry and Ruby Strawberry. His struggles with drugs and alcohol abuse began early in his life, as he once told Yankee magazine he started abusing substances in middle school. "I started drinking and smoking marijuana at 13. I was already in trouble coming into junior high school. I would smoke a couple joints before school, skip class, and even start fires in the bathroom because I was high and didn't want to go to class. This continued into high school, even while I was playing sports." But in spite of this substance use, Strawberry excelled on the baseball field, and by the time he was in high school, he was playing like a man amongst boys. He began to draw national attention for his play, hitting a cool 400 as a senior, and MLB scouts could be found at all of his games in Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles. The scouts were so impressed that the New York Mets drafted Strawberry as the first overall pick in the 1980 MLB draft. He was awarded a $200,000 signing bonus and began his professional career in the minor leagues. But now he was risking his paycheck every time he engaged in drug and alcohol use, and according to him, the pressures of being a top pick made his drug use actually escalate. "At the time, I was drinking and smoking more than I did in high school. People don't realize that alcohol and marijuana often lead to other drugs, but they do. Eventually they stop working and you need something stronger." 1980s America was a much different place than it is today. Booger sugar was used extremely widespread and often accepted in social circles. It was seen as a rich and elite substance compared to marijuana and LSD that every neighborhood hippie could afford. One study estimated that up to 40% of American adults use booger sugar at least occasionally at its peak in 1982. It was particularly popular among younger people and especially young athletes who had money in their pockets for the first time in their lives. Pittsburgh Steelers won 4 Super Bowls in 5 years and famously stayed up all night doing booger sugar with dealers in Miami without sleeping before their championship games. This boom of booger sugar coincided perfectly with Darryl Strawberry's first taste of the major leagues and his call up to the New York Mets. During his very first road trip with the Mets, a veteran teammate introduced him to booger sugar. That was part of the big league lifestyle back then. Booger sugar was the drug of choice when I came up. I tried it on the plane and I liked it. I fell into the same habits as everyone else, drinking and doing booger sugar. And despite the substance use and other off-field troubles, Darryl Strawberry was excelling on the field, making an immediate impact on the Mets lineup and winning the 1983 NL Rookie of the Year. There was little reason for the Mets management to complain. As a few years passed, his addiction became stronger and he admitted to the LA Times that even at the height of his baseball success, he felt empty inside. "I was 21, 22, 23, and at that age, you don't think your life can derail. I became addicted to it all. Womanizing, amphetamines, booger sugar, wealth. Then as you get older, you realize you have everything but you're bankrupt inside. You're never truly free. I would sit in my $2 million home feeling empty. It's all fun until it turns toxic." After winning the 1986 World Series with the Mets, Darryl Strawberry's baseball career went to personal new heights, and between 1987 and 1990, he was at the peak of the sport, hitting more than 37 homers 3 separate times with more than 100 RBIs in those same 3 years. But despite how good he was on the field, he was often criticized during his time by his new teammates and the New York media for his disruptive behavior. He got into a fist fight with respected team captain Keith Hernandez on Team Picture Day. He got into a screaming match with infielder Wally Blackman and threatened to bust that little redneck in the face. Several reports came out that he overslept and was late for team meetings, workouts, and team flights. Years later, Strawberry stated that on top of his substance abuse, his addiction to doing the dirty also negatively impacted his playing career, admitting that it got so bad that he would often do it with multiple women each day and even sometimes during home games. He would enlist clubhouse attendants to solicit women from the crowd he was interested in and have them meet him in the clubhouse between innings for a quick session of substance abuse and doing it. He once told Dr. Oz, "I would go between innings and stuff like that and run back and have a little party going on. It was pretty crazy. It was a crazy lifestyle. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. That was just the addiction, the drive." But his teammates didn't think it was cool or funny and instead thought it was just another distraction that having Darryl in the clubhouse brought with it. Outfielder Lenny Dykstra said of Strawberry's mid-game clubhouse trysts, "When I played baseball, I actually cared about winning. I wasn't in the clubhouse jerking off or whatever he was doing." After the 1990 season at age 28, in what should have still been his prime baseball years, Strawberry left the Mets to sign a $20 million 5-year contract with his hometown LA Dodgers. It made him the second highest paid player in the league. Strawberry left the Mets as an all-time franchise leader in homers with 252 and RBIs with 733. He had one very good season with the Dodgers, but never lived up to the expectations of the massive contract. Years later, looking back at his playing days, he called leaving the Mets the biggest regret of his career. He admitted that aside from the money, one of the reasons he left New York was the intense pressure of playing in the world's largest media market where your every move on and off the field are scrutinized. The drinking and taking substances, that was a way of me punishing myself, but also to the fans too. I figured if you want to get negative on me, you won't get the best out of me. But outside of the limelight of the Big Apple, his struggles with his personal demons continued. In 1990, Strawberry was arrested in LA for allegedly putting his hands on his wife Lisa Strawberry and threatening her with the weapon. City attorneys announced that no charges would be filed and that Darryl would enter an alcoholic rehab center for the first time in his career. After his divorce from Lisa in 1993, Strawberry was again accused of striking another woman, this time his girlfriend Charisse Simmons. Again, no charges were filed as he was ordered to get mental health and drug counseling. By spring 1994, Strawberry was spiraling and failed to show up for a Dodgers exhibition game. He couldn't be located by team personnel until the following day, reportedly deep into a substance binge. At this time, he entered the Betty Ford Center for his substance abuse problems and was subsequently released by the LA Dodgers. He then signed a much smaller contract with the Giants and only played 29 games for them, batting .239 with just 4 homers. After the 1994 season, Strawberry and his then agent Eric Goldschmidt were indicted on federal tax evasion charges for failing to report all income. He was sentenced to pay $350,000 in fines and served 60 days on house arrest. Soon after the indictment, the Giants released him. It seemed that his MLB career might be over for good at just 32 years old. Then, George Steinbrenner and the Yankees came calling. They wanted to give him another chance. Playing parts of 5 seasons back in New York, this time for the Yankees, Strawberry was a part of 2 World Series teams. While he never came close to recapturing his early career dominance, he was serviceable as a member of the Yankees outfield. He would hit .255 overall in his playing time for the Yankees with 41 home runs in 5 seasons. He'll be remembered by Yankees fans, especially for his 1996 ALCS performance where he hit .417 with 3 homers to beat the Orioles in 5 games. In 1999, trouble would once again arise for Darryl Strawberry. While playing in spring training in Tampa, Florida in April of 1999, Strawberry was arrested for soliciting prostitution from an undercover police officer with possession of booger sugar. He was suspended by the MLB for 4 months because of this and was not able to return for the Yankees postseason run. 3 months later, Strawberry tested positive again for booger sugar and this time was suspended for 1 year by the MLB. He would never play another inning in the major leagues again. By September of 2000, Strawberry had hit rock bottom, as he called it. He tried driving to see his probation officer after taking doctor-prescribed painkillers and blacked out while he was driving, causing him to rear-end another car and drive away. An off-duty police officer saw this car accident and arrested him at gunpoint. The next day, Strawberry admitted to these charges and his probation was changed to 2 years of house arrest at a rehab facility. While in rehab in October of that year, Strawberry left the Tampa treatment center to use drugs with a female friend, resulting in him violating his house arrest and parole. This caused Darryl Strawberry to serve a 22-month prison sentence. After his release from prison, Strawberry continued to battle addiction, cycling through treatment programs, jail, and even more legal programs. He was released from his final prison sentence in 2003 after serving 11 months. When I took off my baseball uniform, I was in a complete downward spiral of addiction. I'll never forget my prison number, T17169. While I was in jail, I had lost my will to live, but God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. He wasn't going to let me go. After his release from prison for the final time, Strawberry says he experienced a massive transformation. He dedicated his new life to Christian faith, even becoming a pastor with his own congregation in St. Louis, Missouri. He also opened up several treatment centers in his name in Florida to try to help others who experience similar struggles to what he experienced. In 2024, Strawberry and teammate Dwight Gooden returned to New York together to have their numbers retired by the Mets in a ceremony where they received a lengthy standing ovation. Darryl Strawberry will forever be remembered as a great player, but he'll also always be remembered as someone who had immense, almost unfathomable potential that he never quite reached. People who saw him play as a young man say he could have been one of the all-time greats. He had the size, athleticism, and easy swing that only comes around once or twice a decade. No one will really ever know how good he could have been without the substance abuse, alcohol, and women, but as teammate Mackie Sasser once said of Strawberry, he can be the most excited player in the game when he feels like it. The situation is whether or not he feels like it. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want to see how the Pirates made a big mistake just like Darryl Strawberry, click the video on the screen.